Welcome to the Run Lift Mom podcast, where we're talking about running, lifting, and momming, not necessarily in that order. This episode has so much to do with momming because we are talking about spring cleaning, you heard? And we're talking about a specific room in your home, the bathroom. We want you to have a quick win in the bathroom so you've got some momentum to clear it out, have that clear mindset, be more productive as you are momming. And I have the experts from Room Reset. Julie Leese and Jess Bailey of Room Reset are here to talk to me about cleaning out that bathroom. So buckle in, hang on tight. You're going to hear some really tactical tips, and we've got a free workbook for you. That's right. We're going to have this done in 4 days utilizing the workbook and these awesome tips from Julie and Jess. Without further ado, here are the ladies from Room Reset. All right. Welcome, Julie and Jess of Room Reset to the Run Lift Mom podcast. How are you ladies doing today?
Good.
Hi, Susie. We're doing great. I'm Julie Leese.
I'm Jess Bailey.
I am so excited to have you guys on. You're going to be speaking specifically with us about cleaning our bathrooms. We're doing this in a very specific, strategic way, getting ready for that spring cleaning. Tell me, Julie, why is the bathroom a good place to start if we're organizing our home? Why is that a good room to start with?
So the bathroom is the best place to get started, we think. It's the first place that you see in the morning when you wake up. You know, you get up, you get out of bed, and you go in the bathroom, and you brush your teeth, do what you got to do in there. So it's the first place you see, and it's also the last place that you see before bed. So it kind of sets the tone for your entire day. Like if your bathroom is a complete disaster, you're essentially starting the day kind of feeling like a disaster.
Absolutely. I mean, any cleaning effort, right? Any organization effort, it's probably because we want that clarity, right? We're decluttering because we want that mental space. So great point about first thing in the morning and then last thing in the evening.
Exactly. It also is a smaller space that you have lots of stuff. Kind of you're prone to getting, the bathroom is prone to getting out of control because you have a lot of different items. You have makeup, you have, lotions, you have skincare products, sometimes you have your kids' things in your bathroom. Like there's just so many different things that are in there, and it's just easy to let it get out of control. And because it's a smaller space, there's not as much room for all the items.
Okay, so when it comes to bathrooms, what are the biggest problems that you see with moms specifically?
So moms have a lot of, like Julie was saying, we have a lot of old, outdated stuff that just collect in our bathroom. We have old makeup or we just have a lot of makeup, some of which is old or outdated. We have we get a lot of samples. We get a lot of like hotel toiletries that we're we basically just pick up stuff from everywhere we are. And it just all amounts to just more clutter in the bathroom.
I love that you're saying the hotel thing. So, I mean, real talk, I don't know a woman that that can resist taking that full bottle of shampoo or lotion. My husband laughs at me every time I do it. I can't help it. And you're right. It all ends up in a cabinet or a drawer.
It does. And there's just so many of them, like my husband travels for work and he comes home with them all the time. And I'm like, we don't need any more of these. Can you please stop bringing them home? Jess and I were talking about too is, we tend to kind of not stock up on these things, but we're influenced by so many different things. So we may have a friend who's selling a certain skincare line, i.e. Susie, or we have, different friends that are selling different things, just influencers on social media. So we tend to pick up a lot of these different items just to try them out. And if you try them and you don't like them, or you do like them, you still end up with them in your bathroom. Like they're not going anywhere unless you actually physically do the job and get, yourself organized and get rid of some of these things.
You are right. Seriously, I am all for equal opportunity cleaning. And if I may, I will say, one, ladies, you don't need to be everybody's customer if you have a lot of friends that sell hair care and skincare and that kind of thing. And as someone who sells skincare, let me tell you, the next great deal, it's going to be around the corner seasonally. So just because something is like BOGO or on super sale, it's probably going to be on super sale 5 or 6 months down the road when you actually need a refill. It's time for the Alouette product of the week, and this week it is the Soothe and Smooth Lip Balm and Exfoliator. Riddle me this. Do you wear a bunch of fancy lipstick and lip gloss, but you never exfoliate your lips? What? Just me? Hey, we know that it's important for us to exfoliate our faces, our skin, to get those dead skin cells off, so why don't we do it on our lips as well? If you have been putting all of your fancy, colorful lip product on and wondering why it doesn't seem to stay on as long or why it's not moisturizing, it might be because your lips are due some exfoliation time, and that is what this is going to give you. So you've got a great exfoliator with aloe vera, vitamins A and E, and then also a minty balm to top it off. You guys, this is fantastic. It is the Soothe and Smooth Lip Balm and Exfoliator.
We're just always distracted. We're always sort of hurrying to get ourselves out the door. For, a kid will come in and say, hey, help me with my hair or whatever. So we need to create systems in our bathroom that work for our busy schedules. So we need to maybe have a kid kit in our bathroom that is okay, you need bows in your hair. I got it right here. You need me to gel it. I got it right here. We just want to get everybody out the door and on our way. We just don't want to spend the time in the bathroom.
I love, love, love this point. So thinking about the motions you're going through in these rooms and then creating systems for organization around that. I love that idea. What are some things that I can do?
Yeah. So some of the things that we've talked about, like Jess just mentioned, was having a kid kit or just a space in your bathroom that you have dedicated to the things that your kids either are using in your bathroom or that you're using with them or for them. So for example, my children have a hallway bathroom that we have, that's where all of their, toothpaste and toothbrushes and all of their stuff is. And then in my bathroom, I also have a small little, like we said, a kid kit that we use, that I have Samuel's gel. I have some little elastic hair ties for the girls. And then that way, and I have a hairbrush that I use for them. So that way, if they come in the bathroom and I'm getting ready or I'm trying to get myself ready, and all of them, then I can just do their stuff real quick. And I don't have to say, okay, go back into your bathroom, get your stuff, bring it back in. And then that way it has a designated space and it's not taking over my things and it's not creating more clutter among my things. It's very just dedicated to them.
Oh, I love this. Wheels are turning. Okay, so do you have your kid kit in a bag or a box? Is it on a shelf? Help us paint the picture for us so we can visualize this.
I'm all about just the plastic containers that are just a sort of a basket type shape from either the Container Store or from Target. I mean, they can really be as expensive or inexpensive as you want. And then I just have it underneath my sink alongside of my hair products that are in sort of a similar container. And then that way I know where they are. I can get them, put them right back in whenever, I'm done doing the things that I need to do for them.
Oh, I love this so much. And I mean, having a kid kit would be part of a system, of course. I want to let the listener know that we actually have a more macro level system for cleaning out your bathroom. You guys, I mean, I'm going to mention this 100 times in this episode, but you're going to click details or swipe up, will depend on the player that you're in. And you can get the workbook. It's the Making the Best of Your Bathroom workbook that Jess and Julie have created for us. I have to reference that as we're talking about systems.
Yeah, absolutely. We put together just sort of a stepwise way of a method of how we tackle our projects. And do you want me to walk you through it?
Do you mind just giving us, I mean, don't give away the farm, but let's walk through it because I know that people are like, yeah, lady, you've got something I can click in the show notes. But it's a really, really great workbook. And I'd love people to kind of get an idea for what it has.
So the first step is that we always assess, look in your space, see what you have, see what you actually use. And then from there, we purge what we don't use or what's expired. Things that maybe don't belong in that part of the house. The next step is we consolidate and sort. So we'll combine same products. Like if we have a half empty bottle of shampoo And then we have like two basically the same shampoo that they're both half full. Well, we can put them in the same one and get rid of a whole container and free up a ton of space. And you can do that. You'd be surprised at how many products you can consolidate like that. And then the last step is to store it. So once you've figured out what you actually use and you've condensed it, then you figure out the best way to store it, whether that's a bucket under your cabinet, whether it's in your, the drawer next to your sink, wherever is going to be easiest for you to access.
So that was assess, purge, consolidate and sort, and then store it. And so in this workbook, you've not only got this on paper, but then also you've got workbook style, a place to take notes. This is a great workbook. Thank you for providing it. I want to ask, in the fourth step, store, you say, okay, determine your budget, kind of what you want it to look like, that kind of thing. Do you mind giving us some examples of low end budget? And then maybe if we want to invest a little more, like where are you shopping? Are there brands that you love? That kind of thing.
I would say your low end, you can get some stuff as simple and as cheap as things from the dollar store, just like a plastic bin. And you can get even multiple ones for $1. It's as simple as that. And then, Target is sort of your mid-range. You can find basket. You can use a canvas basket if you want. May not be the best for a bathroom, but depending on if you're just storing like a hairdryer, and hairbrushes, that might be a good solution for you. But they certainly have a plethora of plastic stuff too. And then, as a professional organizer, I have to say our favorites is probably the Container Store. Acrylic bins where you can see through everything and what you have, what you need to get rid of. It's all just right there in front of you. So I personally love the acrylic bins from the Container Store, but you can actually get those at a lot of different places. I don't know if you have an at home where you are, but iDesign is who makes a lot of these acrylic bins, and you can find them even at Home Goods too.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Another thing to go along with those would be labels. We just find that it's, in terms of creating a system, it's super important to have things labeled. Otherwise, you just kind of end up throwing things wherever, but you're a lot less likely to just throw things wherever if it's clearly labeled that this is what goes in this container, this is what goes in this basket. And those labels you can find, same thing, anywhere. You can find cheap labels at the dollar store. I've got several different kinds in my house, especially when it comes to things like garage type items. I'm not going to put expensive, nice labels out in the garage. But then there's also, sets of labels that you can buy 40 or 50 on Amazon for, $7 or $8. I've got some really cool chalkboard labels that you can stick on acrylic bins. Jess has a Cricut that she uses to make labels for things all over the place. So definitely labeling is super important as well.
And I guess too, a big point is containment. Like if you have a container for whatever it is, you can only fill up to where the container ends. And then that's sort of a really good natural breaking point to be like, oh, my container's full. I need to go through it and purge, like you can, if you don't have containment, it's just throw it in there and just keep throwing it in there. Like I feel like containment is really key.
I'm reminded with the labels as well. If you've got a system like that, then you can pass someone else the ball. Like those husbands we were throwing under the bus earlier. If they had to clean your bathroom, if it's labeled, they know where things belong. Of course, we are focusing on the bathroom for this episode and in this, conversation context. But guys, it occurs to me that this workbook you've created could really go for any room. Like if I am doing that garage or a playroom or something like that, assess, purge, consolidate, and sort and store are applicable there as well.
They really are. I had a friend just this past week that called me and she was like, I need help. I've got this Lazy Susan. She's having her cabinets painted. And she just had this, Lazy Susan cabinet that she was like, I need some help. What do I do? And so I said, hey, we're doing this podcast next week. And I sent her the workbook and I was like, follow these steps. And I kind of went through them in a text. And she called me later that day and she was like, this was absolutely what I needed. It was perfect. It helped me to get everything under control in that Lazy Susan. And now she was just so happy with it. She was thrilled.
As a woman with the name Susie, I do object to the name Lazy Susan, but I will say, I love that you
always ask me. They're always like, why is it called a Lazy Susan? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. We're going to have to Google it.
I will say though, it's awesome that we've already tested this out. And then, ladies, this again, it's a really, really great system. I have to ask you one more thing before I send people off to your socials to look at some of these projects and clients that you've had. You guys do a great job just visually showing us before and afters, and it's great. Your social media, it's like a Pinterest board of ideas.
Oh, thank you.
How about though, for the woman who's like, I feel guilty throwing things away. You know what I mean? Like I'll use an earlier example of like, oh man, I bought this Alouette from my girl Susie and I really like her, but I don't know if this skin cream's for me. Like what should her self-talk sound like? Give us some tough love.
Well, I think that you could really weigh within yourself, like what's the bigger drawback to your life? Is it the guilt or is it like the lack of space, the lack of organization when you get into a space and how much time it takes you to do what you need to do? I mean, at some point you'll probably have to weigh out and say, you know what? I do love Susie and I love her product. But maybe this product didn't work, but I'm going to try her for a different product. I've heard that this one is good, So like, just because you throw out a product, A, it doesn't mean you're throwing out a friendship. And B, it doesn't mean that you can't try something different. You just don't need to keep everything forever.
Right. And a lot of times we've found that, and even personally, I've found too, that I don't have such a hard time getting rid of things if I'm actually giving them to somebody instead of throwing them away. Like if I have a friend that I know, has keep going away from the bathroom situation, but like clothing and shoes and that kind of thing. Like I don't feel so guilty getting rid of things like that because I know where they're going. Either I'm giving them to the Goodwill or, somebody that could really use them, or I'm giving them to my friend who has a daughter that I know will use them and wear these things. And you could honestly do the same, not obviously all like cosmetic and bathroom type products, but hey, if somebody wanted to try something new, you could always see if, one of your friends needed some sort of product and give it to them.
And as far as like the hotel toiletries, those are always needed at homeless shelters. So if you have a ton of those, just put them in a bag and take them over to your nearest homeless shelter and they would love to have them.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. I mean, it's one of those mindset things. And we know, heaven knows, we're carrying around enough guilt, right? Every day as moms. And so I appreciate you actually taking us through a couple of approaches because it's a very common thing among moms that like will feel guilty for throwing things out. Or I love, Jess, how you said you're not throwing away a friendship. Guess what, guys? Susie's never going to know if you toss it. Like she's not going to know. And so we're just trying to give you that vote of confidence. Julie and Jess, tell me where we can find you on the socials to see some of that work that you've done for other clients, as well as some of the great tips, tricks, and hacks that you provide.
Yeah, our Facebook handle is at Room Reset LLC, and our Instagram handle is at Room Reset. And then our website is roomreset.net.
And I will put all of these in the show notes. So again, you're going to click details or swipe up, going to depend on the player that you're in. Thank you so much, Julie and Jess of Room Reset, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Susie.
You guys, that workbook is available at runliftmompod.com/reset. That's runliftmompod.com/reset. Get your hands on it. It is absolutely free. And if you're really having like a help me Rhonda moment, like the bathroom isn't going to cut it, you really need some extra help, Julie and Jess are offering a promotion for 1 free hour of organizing services with the purchase of a 3-hour package. So this is for the first 3 people to schedule with them. So go to roomreset.net to check that out. This episode is brought to you by Alouette. I am so excited to offer a free restorative enzyme peel sample. If you want this, you'll just go to peelsample.com Restorative.com. You guys, this is the one that you put on dry skin. You rub it in a circular motion for about a minute, and you heard you're going to see dead skin, like visibly right there, tangible results after a minute. You can use this on your face. You can use it on your calloused hands from that barbell, and you can use it on your running feet. So whether you've been running, lifting, or momming, this is an awesome product. Again, I want you to go to Peel, P-E-E-L, sample.com and request your free sample. Thank you so much for listening to the Run Lift Mom podcast. I want to let you know that you can swipe up in the podcast player that you're in to see the show notes. That's going to take you to my website, and you're going to get a deep dive on today's show. Cool, huh? You can think of it as a blog post that complements what was covered today with all of the links and resources discussed. Don't forget to check out the podcast partners as well with some really great offers for you. And until I get into your earpiece again, remember, for while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come. That's from 1 Timothy 4:8, and this has been the Run Lift Mom podcast.
Thank you for listening to Run Lift Mom. This show is sponsored by